Hello, everybody. Today we're going to go over the subscription document for the Alternative Investing Club's fund. I've had a number of people ask questions about it, and so I just wanted to make a quick video walkthrough that would hopefully answer your questions. And if your question isn't answered here, feel free to email me at daniel@alternativeinvestingclub.com. So this is the subscription agreement. The first section here is the investment section. This simply says, how much are you going to put into the fund? So if you're going to invest, $100,000, you can put that there. Get rid of these. If you're going to invest 50 or 25, you can put that here as well. If it's your first time investing, go ahead and click Initial Investment. And if you're putting in an additional amount, the minimum additional increment is 25,000. If you're putting in 25,000 or more as an additional amount, go ahead and click this here. Next is the ownership type. This is how you're going to hold the investment. Is it being held by an individual, one person? Are you holding it as joint tenants with right of survivorship? That's the most common way that married couples tend to hold it. Also, if you are a married couple and you hold it as an individual, in most states, of course, on your passing, the spouse would automatically receive ownership of property that is the owner of that's owned by one spouse. So you can, if you are a married couple, you can put individual here, and it's held legally individually for you, but upon your death, most likely in your state, it would go through probate and be brought to your spouse. But if you don't want it to go through probate, joint tenants with rights of survivorship is a common way of doing it. There's a couple of other options here if those fit your particular scenarios. I'd talk to your lawyer about that before selecting either tenants in common or community property. You might be purchasing this as part of a partnership. So if you and two or three other people are pooling your money together and you're going to put that money into the AICF, then this would be what you sign here. If your company is buying it, you can click on this box. If your limited liability company is buying it, you can click on this box. A common way that two other common ways are in a trust. So quite a number of people that have invested with us have invested through their trust. You just click on this option. And then traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEPs, or 401k plans, if you're going to use a custodial account, and these are self-directed IRAs or 401ks, then go ahead and click on this. And there's a little bit of extra information here that you need to fill out if you choose a custodial account, and that is what's the name of the company that's acting as your custodian, and basically how do we contact them. All right, next, this is a section that everybody is going to fill out, the subscriber information, and this is just your personal information, so we know who is purchasing the security of the fund and who is your particular information. So first name, last name, phone number, social security number, date of birth, email address, mailing address. If your residential address is different than your mailing address, then your country of birth and your country of citizenship. These are two important questions. Quite a few people have been tripped up on this question, and so I highlighted it in red. If you're a non-US citizen, specify country of citizenship and select below. Apparently our online forum had an error here which forced people to select one of these two boxes. And so all the people that were citizens said, I'm not a resident alien or a non-resident alien. If you're being forced currently on the web page to select one of those boxes, and I believe that problem is fixed now, but if that happens to be the case, just go ahead and select one of these boxes. And if you've written USA up here or United States of America, we will know to disregard that. And then the anti-money laundering questions, these are brought in basically as federal government SEC requirements in order to track and trace terrorism. And so we're required to ask the source of your funds. You can simply put down your checking account, your stock account, whatever it happens to be, your occupation, and then the purpose of the investment, and then the number of expected transactions. Since you're putting money in and you're going to be signing a document for each time you do that, just go ahead and put one here. That's your one transaction is putting money into the investment, and it's actually counted in a separate way when we're giving distributions out, so you don't need to count that here. So go ahead and just put 1 there. And then purpose of investment, put whatever you want there. I don't know why we have to ask this question. It's not particularly relevant to how we use the money, or it's not information that I see we actually need. So put whatever you want, just don't put terrorism. All right. Next, we have the co-investors. So if your spouse is going to be an owner of this as well, go ahead and fill out the same information here. Exactly the same information applies. If you're going through a corporation or a trust or an S corp or an LLC or a partnership, this is a required section, B or 2B. If you're not, if you're investing as an individual, you can skip this section. So if you are a LLC, for instance, you'd click LLC. The government requires us to list any beneficial owners of trusts, partnerships, and LLCs. And a beneficial owner is simply somebody who owns 25% or more of that legal entity. So if you have a trust and you are, the owner of the trust, or if you have a partnership and you're a 50-50 partner with somebody, go ahead and fill this information out. It's exactly the same questions that were up above in the individual section. Beneficial owner number 2, if you have one. If you need more than one beneficial owner to fill this out, say you have 3 beneficial owners or 4, maybe 4 people own 25% of a partnership, go ahead and just copy this page and send it in to me individually, or contact me and we'll send you over a specific form in order to accommodate that many people. All right, next we have the broker-dealer financial advisor information. For most of you here who are direct investors in the fund, you don't need to worry about this. If you're a broker-dealer who is taking this fund and marketing it to your particular clientele, feel free to fill this in. Accredited advisor status. So since this is a 506c fund, the SEC requires us to track whether you are accredited or not. And the 2 main qualifications for that is you are an individual with at least a $1 million net worth, not including your primary residence. That's the net worth test. If you qualify under the income test, what that means is you're an individual who has a salary or an income of $200,000. It doesn't necessarily have to be derived from salary. It could be derived from other income sources, dividends, stocks, trusts, whatever it happens to be. But if you have $200,000 or more in the past 2 years, or you are a married couple with $300,000 or more, then you qualify as an accredited investor. So if you fall under either of those 2 definitions, or you're a financial professional that's passed the tests that are required to be a certified accredited investor, or if you're a bank or a broker, or there are a number of other ways that most people won't fall under. But if you're any of those, go ahead and just check this box. This is all we're looking for, is a check right there. Okay, next section. Benefit plan information. Most likely I'm actually going to eliminate this from the legal docs. This would be if you are an employee pension plan, if you're a union, if you're we're not even accepting investment really from this type of person, or this type of entity. So we're going to skip over number 5. You don't need to fill it out. And then number 6 is simply the investor ID requirements. We can validate you are who you are through your passport, through your state ID, through your driver's license. If you're a partnership, here are the qualifications in order to verify who you are there. Same with trusts, corporations, LLCs. And for all that documentation, just you can interact with NAV Consulting. And NAV Consulting probably is how you found this document anyways. Just send that information to them and they will verify it, and they will make sure that they follow up with you. Okay, the wiring instructions, number 7. This is not where you are going to wire your initial contribution from. This is where we need to send the distributions to. So this is where, once you fund the investment and the investment creates income, then this is where the distributions are going to. So go ahead and put your bank, your SWIFT or ABA number. This is also called the routing number. It's on every check that you have in your checking account. The name of the subscriber's account, so whose name is actually on the bank account, the account number, and any other instructions that you might have. This isn't very common. Usually we just need these three things. Sometimes we need the bank's address, so it might be worthwhile to write the bank's address down there as well. And then lastly, we have the recitals. This is an area where please read the documents that are here. These documents do supersede anything that I say on this video. So go ahead and read these carefully. They're all pretty boilerplate for the most part. If you have any questions about these, feel free to email me, daniel@alternativeinvestingclub.com. All right, so once you've read through those, down at the bottom, there is a section to sign. So we need your signature, the co-investor's signature, print of both your names, your entity if you have one. If you're, the manager of a corporation, you just put manager down here. How much your capital contribution is, this should be exactly the same amount that you put into this part 1 here under investment. So whatever number you put here, you're also going to want to put down here. And the current date. And that's all it takes. Once you fill all that in and hit the submit button, I'll receive an email and I will check over the document and countersign it. And once it's countersigned, we both receive signed copies of the documents. I hope this video has helped you. And again, if you have any questions, Daniel@alternativeinvesting.com. I'm happy to help. Feel free to contact me. I mean, when you're going through a lot of legal documents, it can be confusing. If you're confused at all, just feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to get on the phone and talk you through it. Hope you have a great day.